All right, have a seat. Come on, quit screwing around. My name is Commander, and I'm going to be briefing you on the SCP you're going to be studying. So what we're going to be looking at today is SCP-5204, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Research into the physical containment of SCP-5204 is ongoing. Any sightings of an SCP-5204 event should be attributed to an optical illusion or the result of cabin fever. Description: SCP-5204 is an event related to the natural phenomenon Aurora Borealis. While it's unknown whether Aurora Borealis predates or is caused by SCP-5204, all SCP-5204 events occur around the Great Lakes region of North America, particularly Lake Huron, during any full moon in February and March. During an SCP-5204 event, thousands of multichromatic translucent entities will emerge from any body of water and begin to dance from between 1 meter to 100 meters above the surface. The size of the body of water is reflective of the size that the entity can reach, with a 10-liter bucket creating an entity approximately 30 centimeters in height, and Lake Ontario producing entities 250 meters in height. Because of the incorporeal nature of said entities, most are dismissed as water vapor or other natural phenomena. Additionally, most people are not inclined to be outside of their homes in the middle of winter at night, so most sightings can be dismissed as optical illusions. The visibility of the entities in an SCP-5204 event varies wildly, from an incorporeal wisp similar to a candle's flame to fully defined and articulated human beings. Regardless of form, all entities will find a partner and engage in a slow ballroom-style dance. During the course of the event, they will begin to rise higher into the sky before disappearing completely at dawn. Discovery: SCP-5204 came to the Foundation's attention on March 2, 2001, after Christy Robinson of Chicago, a 47-year-old Michigan native, called the Michigan State Police Department. She claimed to have seen her deceased father walk across Lake Huron and begin dancing with her mother, who had died 20 years prior. She alleged that there was significant occult activity in the area and that her hometown had changed significantly since she moved away in 1982, citing odd behaviors from the townsfolk. When the police sent a unit to the town of Orchard, Michigan 2 hours later, they found her father's home had signs of forced entry. Further inspection showed fingerprints on the banister and boot prints leading up to her room. Robinson was found at the bottom of the basement stairs, having died of a broken neck. At this point, the Foundation became aware of the situation and dispatched Captain Quinton McNamara and Warrant Officer Madison Watts of Mobile Task Force Sigma 70, the Sidewinders, to investigate. Now, we have quite an extensive list of audio logs from the investigation. I'm going to go ahead and read a few for you. McNamara: all right, I think it's on. Great. All right, so we arrived at 7 p.m. last night, and Watts, closer to 8, I think, but go on. McNamara: always. We arrived at the house, modest 2-story cabin situated near Lake Huron. I'm going to say $100,000 at most. What do you think, Maddie? Watts: waterfront? You're probably pushing $200K. McNamara: it's not that close, but anyhow. Snow fell since the crime, so checking for prints outside was useless. Kudos to the Stadies. They didn't really mess with the scene that much. The front door wasn't so much breached as in shattered. Looks like somebody blew the handle off, but that's the curious part. We found fingerprints on the handle, so I really don't know what the hell happened here. Watts: and the handle was iron, which rules out a couple of things, and no hits on the print, so our culprit hasn't been picked up for anything. McNamara: speaking of prints, the Stadies mentioned muddy prints leading up to the bedroom. Guess where those don't go? Out of the bedroom. There's a solid trail of dirt leading up to Christie's bed, but they don't lead out of the room or down to the basement. Looks like they sat on the bed and then disappeared. Watts: do we have a timetable for this? McNamara: yeah. Call was placed at 6:31 a.m. and ended at 6:42, which means she died somewhere between 6:42 and 7:33 when the troopers showed up. But back to the boots. We're looking at a size 11 men's, some kind of snow boot. Watts: which narrows it down by fuck all, because Michigan is God's frozen and forsaken hellscape, and everybody here wears big boots. Fuck. This is for the records, isn't it? McNamara, yep. But there is a ray of sunshine. Looks like Robinson called somebody by the name of Lori Fisher just before she called the police. Looks like she's the town librarian. We're going to talk to her tomorrow, see if that leads to anything. Watts, you're going to talk to her. I'm going to check in with the neighbors. You know libraries give me the creeps. McNamara, look, not all libraries are like the one... Never mind. I'm not going to try to force you. Watts, also, we're going to take a walk around town, check up on these cultist claims, and buy some warmer clothes because these do not cut it. McNamara, amen to that. All right, Sidewinder's out. I'm going to go ahead and read you the transcript of audio log 2. McNamara. All right, investigation day 2, McNamara checking in. Things went okay today. Watts and I walked through the downtown area and found nothing out of the ordinary. It's a typical death of the small town kind of thing. Some boarded up stores on Main Street. Locals complaining about the Walmart in next town over, stealing away the money. Pretty standard. Of all the cults I've ever seen, this would be the friendliest. I figured the cold would have them heads down and running for shelter, but I guess they're all used to it. We must have been stopped half a dozen times for chit-chat. One thing stood out to me, though. I'm going to play it for you real quick. A click can be heard. McNamara, good morning. Do you sell jackets? Unknown voice. New in town? Looks like you didn't pack well for the cold. Don't worry, we got more than enough to spare. You partial to wool or synthetic? Watts, whatever's warmest. Christ, I'm about 10 seconds from setting my damn sleeves on fire. Unknown voice laughs. That'd be the worst mistake. Frostbitten burns are the worst feeling on earth. Watts, I'll take your word for it. Anything to do around town? Unknown voice. Not really much. We don't get too many tourists this time of year. If you're religious, Father Williams is usually in. McNamara. Not sure how much I've got to confess, honestly. Unknown voice. Everyone's got a secret or two, Quentin. Talking about it is good for the soul. A second click is heard. McNamara. Did you hear that? He called me Quentin. We didn't even introduce ourselves. I'd like to say I picked up on that right away, but I was a bit distracted. Anyway, the library. I flashed my badge to Mrs. Fisher, and then she closed up shop and pulled me into a back room. Unfortunately, there's not much to tell. She didn't really know anything. Apparently, Robinson had called her in the middle of the night crying and screaming. According to the phone company, the call only lasted 3 minutes, and Mrs. Fisher said that Christy never managed to get a sensible word out before hanging up. We're still waiting on the transcripts from the state police, but I'm guessing she was a lot more composed if they sent a car over. A phone can be heard ringing. McNamara. I wonder what that is. McNamara. In a startling turn of events, Mrs. Fisher called and a trooper came by with the transcript. Looks like we have a lead. According to Mrs. Fisher, Robinson was said one word about 4 times. Williams. And guess what the transcript also says? Williams. Sounds like the deceased said that Father Williams was leading some kind of necromantic cult. Apparently, she saw him conversing with her father before he walked out onto the lake. A door can be heard opening. Watts. Guess who got a break in the case? McNamara. Is it Father Williams? Watts. Never mind. One of the neighbors got up in the night and saw the clergyman walk into the house. McNamara. I've got his name on the transcript and from the call Robinson made to Mrs. Fisher. Want to head down to the church? Watts. As long as we don't have to sit through Mass. Now some supplemental material between the audio logs just to give you an idea what was going on. When the agents arrived at the church, they were unable to locate Father Williams. Evidence such as a warm cup of coffee suggested he'd recently vacated the premises. Agents were able to match the fingerprints on the cup to prints left on the doorknob at the Robinsons' house. A search of Father Williams' residence led to the discovery of boots matching the ones from the crime scene. Audio log 028. I'll go ahead and read the transcript for this one. McNamara, update log number. What are we on now, Maddie? Watts, probably like almost 30. McNamara, never mind. We've been here about a month and Father Williams continues to evade capture. Not much to say. The interim priest arrived yesterday and he knows less than we do. The weather continues to depress morale. Watts has been complaining about the cold. Constantly. Watts, look me in the fucking eyes, Quentin, and tell me it doesn't make your implants ache. I'm completely justified here. McNamara, then tell Carlisle that he needs to do more cold weather testing. Don't take it out on me. I can't control the weather, Maddie. Watts. I will lock you out of this hotel room if you quote that one more time. McNamara laughs. Anyways, the town seems to be giving us a cold shoulder. When we asked Miss May Crawford about Father Williams, she informed us that we had stayed the maximum amount of days in her motel. So we had to move to the motel to the outskirts of town. Watts. Which has a half-broken heating system, and I can't tell you how fucking mad that makes me. I'm gonna tear that smug asshole's spine out when we find him. A button on the recording device is pressed, presumably an error. McNamara. You okay, Maddie? Watts. Yeah, I'm just almost out of meds and I have to ration them. McNamara. You should have told me. Watts. It's not a big deal, I'll be fine. McNamara. It's a big deal to me, Maddie. Watts. Thanks. Go ahead and finish your log. The record button is pressed. McNamara. All right, where was I? Oh, yeah. Tonight, as usual, we'll be driving down to the Robinson house to see if anything interesting happens. Watts. Say it scientifically. That's too vague, man. McNamara. They've already heard it 20 times. Whatever. Due to the circumstances of Christy Robinson's sighting of the alleged anomaly, it's likely tied to the day-night cycle. As such, we want to walk to the shore of the lake every night. Satisfied? Audio log 29. Watts. I don't know. This is followed by several minutes of silence. Watts. I just don't know how to put this into words. We're okay. Quentin is just... He's fine, he's just not talking. Nearly 20 minutes of silence pass. Watts speaks again. Okay. We walked through the Robinsons' backyard. Everything was fine. Well, normal. When we got to the shore, it was just gray. Nothing but snow and ice. Then the moon came out from the clouds and this bright green light flashed at the end of the peninsula across the bay. The clouds disappeared and then 100,000 souls began to dance across a ballroom of black ice, lit in every color. I saw. At this point, soft crying can be heard. I saw my dad and my mom, exactly like they were when they died. And my dad turned to me and just winked, like he used to do when he'd sneak me extra dessert or something, and then they kept dancing. I don't. And then the log abruptly ends. All right, I have a transcript of another one. Audio log 30. Watts. All right, morning after the anomaly, Quentin's still shaken up, so he asked me to do the log. Fuck, I'm not great at these. Okay, normal stuff first. We're fine on food, lodging, and cash. I got maybe 10 days worth of meds left, which isn't great, especially if the townies do that cold shoulder bullshit again. Might just break that shoulder clean off. But the anomaly, I'm still processing it. It was definitely real. Like, that really was my parents. I just know. Which means, I don't know what it means. Okay, I'm going to focus on what I do know. On my suspicions. Fuck, I'm flubbing this. Okay, so that green flash, I think that was caused by a person. And there's really one person that could be. Father Williams. And the townies aren't going to give him up, so we need to set a trap. One sec. The recording is paused. Watts. Probably should have just stopped the recording. Anyway, I called in for reinforcements. Gerald and James should be here by tomorrow morning, plus any stragglers they bring along. McNamara. Did you tell him to pack warm? Watts. Yeah, I told them to bring extra. This is followed by several minutes of silence. Watts finally speaks. Hey, Quentin. What did you see out there? Log ends. Here's a transcript of audio log 31. I'll go ahead and read it for you. McNamara. Maddie, if you find this and I'm not there, I'm sorry. The sound of crunching snow can be heard in the background as he's saying this. McNamara. Madison is asleep back at the hotel. I have to do this alone. When we got back to the hotel, I found a business card in the pocket of the jacket I bought when we got here. I don't know how or why, but it's for that clothing store. From Father Williams. There's a note on it, too. McNamara clears his throat a few times. Dear Quentin, we need to talk. Alone. Meet me behind the Robinson house at midnight tonight by the lake. Signed, Father Williams. McNamara. I'd be worried if I didn't, have my... Anyway. And that's where I am now, just pulled up to the house. Crunching snow can be heard for several minutes. My God, I don't know what to... This is followed by several seconds of silence. McNamara. Hundreds of people just dancing over the lake. Not people, more like ghosts. I'm at the shore and it feels like I could reach out and touch them. It's just so... Williams. Beautiful. Ethereal. McNamara. Step back. I will not hesitate. Williams. Put the gun away, Quentin. I have no intention to harm you. McNamara. How do you know my name? Williams. Will you sit on this bench and speak with an old man? Are you a religious man? McNamara. No. Not after everything I've seen, everything I've done. Williams. You've had a hard 20 years, haven't you? Made you give up on God? McNamara. No. If there is a God, he's not a caring one. How do you know so much about me? Williams. The dead have so much to say if you'd only listen. I know who you saw out there, and I am so sorry. None of them deserved that, and neither did you. McNamara. Do not play these fucking games with me. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Williams. No, probably not. But you still have my sympathy and condolences. McNamara. Did you extend those to Christie? Williams. Christie burned with a fire most people strive their entire lives just to glimpse. It's what makes humans so unique in this universe. That pressing, eternal need to be, to exist. It's one of your most incredible traits. McNamara. I didn't ask about that. Williams. I did what I had to protect this place. And I regret it. McNamara. Just a fucked up sense of duty, huh? Williams. Surely you would understand the lengths you must go to protect the most important things? McNamara. No. I do my job because I know the consequences of failure. Williams. As do I. McNamara. I don't buy it. Williams. I didn't ask you to come here to plead my case. The Foundation creeps like ivy over everything they deem unnatural. But this is the one place they should not touch. McNamara. Why not? Williams. Those monsters of man's creation, the clockwork titans, abominations of flesh and magic, places scarred by hate and fear and bloodlust, this is not one of them. McNamara. And Williams. Do you believe in the soul, Quentin? Do you believe that you have one? McNamara. If I did, Dr. Carlyle would have cut it out by now. Williams politely laughs. I can see yours burning bright. Of everything, the soul is the one thing that never fades away. Look across the water. Do you see them burning across the sky? McNamara. Yeah. Williams. Do you see the man holding a young girl in one arm and a woman in the other? Do you know who those two are? Do you know who they are? McNamara. It's the Robinsons, isn't it? Williams. Send me your scientists and I'll make them understand why they cannot interfere here. McNamara. We don't negotiate. Williams. Absolutism is not something that survives the test of time. I will compromise, but I will not abandon my post. Now, post-investigation. Footnotes. Captain McNamara returned to his hotel and alerted Overwatch Command of the situation. A team of researchers was dispatched to the town of Ortis where they began to negotiate with Father Williams, designated SCP-5204-1. After demonstrating that physical containment would not be possible, SCP-5204-1 agreed to work with the Foundation to protect the Veil. The methods of doing this are unknown, but there have been 0 sightings since this was enacted, and SCP-5204 was reclassified as Euclid. Any collateral effects are unknown. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for 5204. You're dismissed.